Hey guys, welcome back to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from November 4th to the 10th, and I'm using a paper candy art kit that I got, I don't know, a year or two ago, I'm not sure. And it's called Bookworm, and I just chose it because it's a good fall kit and I've had it in my stash. I want to use my stuff up, so that's why I chose this kit. As far as the format, it's been a while since I've used one of these, and I didn't realize that this kit didn't come with glitter headers. Fortunately, I was able to find something in my stash that worked well enough with this kit. I think it's good enough. I only did one row of glitter headers at the top, and I also bumped up all the date covers because this kit also does not come with any deco to put at the top. I kind of liked having the extra space though, because normally, I need a million little things, and I was able to use a lot of bigger boxes this week. However, I did start running out just because this is such a small kit. But overall, I'm happy with how it turned out. It's definitely a more simple, less jam-packed spread, but still happy with it. I had to put a couple labels on the sidebar just to make up the space. My only thing with these kits is personally, I can't stand the bows on the boxes, but I'm sure I'm in the minority with that. And another thing is I love the the variety of functional deco that you get with these kits. However, every single item has a heart on it, and I don't love that. For example, I ended up using one of the computer stickers to mark working. I don't love working. I would have liked some computers without hearts, but anyway, it's still a really great selection of stickers that you get with this kit. I just wish there wasn't a heart on every single thing, but that's just me. I'm sure a lot of people out there love it. As far as this week goes, you and I know that this was election week, and things did not go as hoped. But right now, I am just trying to focus on what I can control, and I can't do anything about what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen with the tariffs? I'm trying not to panic buy things. I'm now very concerned that my computer is going to break the second that this whole thing passes, and all of a sudden I won't be able to afford anything. I'm freaking out. But I'm trying to calm down. I'm definitely freaked out by all of the men online saying your body, our choice, all that stuff. It's really freaking me out. But it won't do me any good to focus on it. I just can't. So yes, there is political stuff in this spread, but I'm going to just kind of gloss over it really quickly. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. Because mental health, right? As far as big things that happened this week, one exciting thing, and yes, political, that happened on Monday was I was able to go to the Harris rally, and it was amazing. I'm glad I was able to go. There was a lot of standing around. It was very cold. I was getting very antsy, but I'm glad I went. And we almost weren't able to get in because my boyfriend and I RSVP'd, but my roommate did not. And by the time she went to RSVP for the event, it was at capacity. Fortunately, we were able to get her in. We ended up walking to the museum around 8:30 at night, and we got in the line and it was moving. And then when you get towards the front before you go through the metal detectors, they're all all right, have your email out, have your ID out. And I'm shit, what email? Because I'm sort of going through, I'm going to have to quit it because I need to go through my email. But sometimes when I get really anxious, I ignore my personal inbox and don't check my email. So we were it was almost our turn. So I was, frantically going through my inbox. I found the email, I forwarded it to my roommate, and they were in such a rush to get everybody in on time that they didn't even check our IDs. They just looked at our phones. So we were able to get her in without a problem. We met up with my boyfriend, and yeah, it was great. Saw Ricky Martin, saw Lady Gaga, saw Oprah, of course, saw Kamala Harris. It was Very cool. My one thing I'll say is I wish we didn't have to sit through all of the other rallies. They kept like cutting to different states and different things going on, and I don't have the attention span for that. But either way, I'm happy I went. We didn't get home until like 12:30 at night, but I'm still happy I went. Other things that happened this week. So obviously Tuesday, we're not going to talk about that, but what I will talk about is on Tuesday night, there was a potential gas leak in our building. And I was trying to do a voiceover at the time. It's a hot mess. I think it's like, no, you're going to see it before this one. It's the spread before the one we're currently working on. But my roommate comes knocking on my door and she asked me to come out to the living room. She's like, "Do you smell gas?" And I very much did. I didn't even know what a gas leak smelled like, but it definitely smelled like some sort of something. So she called the fire department. They told us to evacuate. So we grabbed the cats and we brought them and put them in her car. I was like super anxious. I was like, if they don't find gas, I'm going to be so embarrassed because there's like a fire truck and all this stuff going on. Two of the firemen that went upstairs definitely smelled gas and they got a very, very low reading. They ended up having to call the coffee shop owner so that she could open up her shop so they could test for gas over there. It was just a whole thing. Fortunately, nothing serious. It was just a freak thing. We still don't know what it was, but it wasn't like our stove was broken and leaking gas or anything like that. We still don't know what it was, but then PGW, the gas company, had to come out because it's protocol that if you smell gas, they come out immediately. So it was kind of a long couple days. I'm not really big on doing things after work, and so Monday we went to the rally, and then Tuesday we had the fire department and the gas company at our apartment. So it was just wasn't a very relaxing way to start the week. Eventful, but definitely not relaxing. And then other things, I got my COVID and flu shot over the weekend and it completely knocked me out. And I was actually out at the time. So that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. At least I got it over with. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to move on to the day by day, starting with Monday. The first thing I marked was that I worked remote and I used a laptop from the kit for that. With an insomnia munchkin, I marked that I had a really bad headache and I was very tired. With a squish from Fox and Cactus, I marked walking to Aldi on my break to get my fruit and stuff. With this, it's actually an awkward munchkin, but I'm using it to be like an anxious munchkin. I marked that my roommate didn't RSVP. Then with these, I guess it's like a friendship sticker from Rabbit Hole Handcraft, I marked that we walked to the museum. Then with this happy munchkin, I marked that we got in. And then I marked the rally with this protesting munchkin, as well as this little like party sticker from the Prairie Planner. And then the final thing that I'm realizing I forgot to fill out, but that doesn't matter to you. Anyway, the last thing I marked was that we didn't get home until like 12:30. Moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I marked was that it was election day, and I used a Nightmare Before Christmas mayor sticker for that, just because I don't have anything else right now. I will purchase something for, voting and whatnot, but I didn't have anything, so he's political. Then with a Stick with the Plan Co. girl at her computer, I marked that I got my office bags back. If you remember from last week, the son of the owner of our company was in town and I had to give him my office. So I was like out in the communal area. And because he and my boss were away at a conference in Las Vegas this week, I got to use my office for the 3 in-office days. So that was very nice. With a Prairie Planner mic sticker, I marked that I did my very hectic voiceover. With a confused munchin. Jesus Christ. God. I have like a speech impediment now. Anyway, with a confused munchkin, I marked the gas leak. With this F this I'm out sticker from Fox and Cactus, I marked that we evacuated with the cats. With a house from the kit that actually doesn't have a heart on it. So there you go. I marked that PGW and the fire department came. And then the final thing on Tuesday that I marked was that Trump was winning, and I couldn't sleep because I just like kept looking at my phone hoping that the numbers would change, and they just didn't. So yeah, I was up till maybe like 2:30, 3 a.m. Moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I marked with a no munchkin was that, of course, Trump won. You know, oh well, we get to live in this timeline. Anyway, with another computer from the kit, I marked going into work. There was like nobody there. It was me, my coworker, the receptionist, and like one other random dude. I don't know. Then with this shut up, stick with the plan, go sticker, I just marked that I was like, I just wasn't coping. Let's just put it that way. I wasn't coping well. Then with these emojis having some sort of heart-to-heart, I marked that when I went home. My roommate and I commiserated for a while. With this piggy bank sticker, I marked that my mom needed to borrow some money. Then with this kettlebell sticker from Fox and Cactus, I marked doing a workout. With this planner from the Prairie Planner, I marked planning. And then with this Planning Roses road sticker, it's actually a road trip sticker, and I just cut the road out of it. And a TV from the kit, I marked that I finished watching Wrong Turn 5. Also, if you guys know of Planning Roses, did you guys see that she's going out of business? And if you're interested, I think she's going to have a big sale, but it's just kind of like, even though I don't buy from her shop anymore because she's sort of pivoted to like more like bullet journal planner, like physical planners that she sells now. So she stepped away from stickers, kind of, in my opinion. But it's sad because she is the first planner I ever watched, and she's the person who got me interested in planning in the first place. So I hope she continues to plan. I hope that this means she will go back to just doing planning as a hobby, but who knows. Anyway, moving on to Thursday, the first thing I marked was that I weighed myself. I hadn't weighed myself in quite a while, and I've been emotional eating. I've never been an emotional eater before in my life. I usually can't eat when I'm upset, but I don't love that's been my thing lately. But oh my God, sugar, candy, hot chocolate, cookies, all of that. That's like all I want to do is just eat crap. And so I just kind of wanted to double check that we weren't getting like out of control. So yeah, I weighed myself. Then with this sweating munchkin, I marked that it was just way too hot and humid for November. With this computer flat lay from the Prairie Planner, I marked that I went to the office. With this emoji eating chocolate, I marked that I had too much candy again. Then with this munchkin watching a movie, I marked that I watched this weird 80s movie, and mainly because my Chromecast wasn't working very well, so I couldn't watch Wrong Turn 6 on my big TV, and I needed my laptop to like do some stuff. Whatever, all that to say, I needed to watch a movie on Tubi. That was like my only option, and I just saw this random like ballet love triangle movie, so I put it on, and I didn't know, but a big chunk of it takes place in Philadelphia, so it was kind of cool to see shots of like City Hall and stuff from the 80s. Interesting. I wouldn't recommend the movie. Can't even remember what it was called, but it was cool to see. Then with this FML Stick with the Plan Co. girl, I marked that I was frustrated, and I don't remember why. So I don't know. Everything probably. Moving on to Friday, the first thing I marked was that I was remote, and I used another sticker from the kit. With this Prairie Planner sticker, I marked that I pulled. With this emoji drinking a Red Bull, I marked that it was a 2 Red Bull day. Very bad. We have a lot to fix after the holidays. I'm going to be one of those stereotypical cliche ladies who like completely resets in January because I'm gonna need it. Like the caffeine intake, the sugar intake, the just everything is not great. Anyway, moving on with this Planning Roses suitcase, I marked that I packed up and got ready. With this shoe from the kit, I marked that I walked from Joe's apartment, not mine, to go meet my friend to get dinner. And we just like, it was a very expensive meal actually, but we got some wine and drank and just like kind of commiserated and shit talked about the election for a few hours. Then with a car from the kid, I marked that Joe picked me up so I wouldn't have to walk home alone. And then the final thing on Friday with this rabbit hole handcraft sticker was that we watched The Challenge and Compliance, which was a very interesting movie to me anyway. It's based on a true story. And when I say based, I mean like really fucking close to what really happened. And I think what happened in real life is actually a little bit worse. Not to give anything away, but it's about these prank calls that were going on for like 10 years. This guy would call fast food restaurants and say that someone stole money, and see how far he could get the employees to go. And so in the movie, you see the manager of this fast food chain. In real life, it was McDonald's. Like, this legit happened. But in the movie, it's like a made-up chain. She ends up strip searching the girl looking for the money. All this crazy stuff happens. And the main actress, I'm blanking on her name. You probably have seen her before, but she did an amazing job. The woman who plays the manager did such a good job in this movie, at least in my opinion. But it's really, really disturbing knowing that this actually happened. The girl in real life, I don't consider this a spoiler because it happened in real life. She ends up getting like sexually assaulted. It's terrible. And the man who was making the prank calls was never charged because even though they think they found him, they didn't have enough evidence to convict. And but we know it's him. We know it was him because after they caught him, the prank calls stopped, and they had been going on for a decade. But anyway, there were a couple times where he got the manager to strip search an employee, but it never went as far as it did at this McDonald's. So anyway, if you are into like uncomfortable, depressing movies, you might like it. Compliance. Look it up. I enjoyed. Moving on to Saturday, the first thing I marked with another shoe from the kit was that I walked to CVS. Then with this Dr. Amodi, I marked getting my flu and COVID shots. With this Carly Plan sticker, I marked getting ready. Then I walked over to the Helium Club in Center City to meet up with some friends who invited us to go to this like free pun competition. Not totally my thing. I'm not that into pun. It was very impressive because I can't come up with puns, and these people were coming up with them on the spot. They had a theme, like one woman, she was talking about like her dating life, and her theme I think was like the ocean. It was very clever, but I prefer just like a stand-up comedian, doing a bit rather than puns. But not bad. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. But anyway, after that, Joe was actually supposed to go with me, but he got held up. So he picked us up after the show to go get food. And I marked that with this Piper Paper Company car and a burger from the kit. Then with this tired emoji, I marked that I was starting to get like really, really sick from the shots. I was starting to get chills. I was like having trouble standing and my head was starting to pound, and I took some medicine and it didn't do anything. But I was trying to be like a good sport, and I didn't want to bail. So after we got dinner, they wanted to go across the street to this place called Frankfurt Hall to meet up with some friends. So I marked that with this beer sticker that I've had for forever. So I don't know exactly where it's from. I did not drink. I'm just using it because it was a bar. But I think I made it for like 45 minutes or something. And then another one of our friends was going to meet up with everybody, but I couldn't wait for him to show up. I needed to go home. So Joe took me home and we watched the movie Blink Twice, which I really, really liked. The first half is a little bit boring, and you just have to suffer through it. It's not suffer, that's an exaggeration. You just have to sit through it because every single thing has a meaning. Like even when the girls are randomly running, I was like, what is this editing? But it all makes sense in the end. I loved it. Just yeah, I definitely recommend it. The ending's amazing. Channing Tatum was amazing. Very much enjoyed. Then the final thing for Saturday with this insomnia emoji was that I had body chills and body aches all night, and I couldn't really sleep. Moving on to Sunday, the first thing I marked with this rabbit hole handcraft sticker was that I still felt really sick in the morning. Like I just needed to lay and not move. But I did have errands to run. So I think I gave myself until 1 p.m. and I was like, all right, we got to go. And then, Joe drove. So I just had to kind of sit there. But probably by 2 p.m., I was totally fine. It was crazy. I was dying and then instantly fine. But I used a Target bag from SPC to mark running errands. With an emoji drinking water, I marked that I was bouncing back. Then with this grocery bag from the kit, I marked going food shopping. With a slice of pizza from the kit, I marked that we got Pizza Hut, and it's one of the best pizzas from Pizza Hut I've had in like 20 years. It was so good. It was just baked to perfection. Delicious. The only way to get Pizza Hut pizza is with extra sauce. I can't eat it unless there's extra sauce. Otherwise, the cheese is like grosses me out. Then we watched an episode of SNL, and I used these munchkins to mark that. And then the final thing, I can't remember if this is Once More with Love or the Coffee Monsters Co., but with this like overthinking gear head character, I marked that I couldn't sleep because I was just like in my head about a lot of stuff. And yeah, actually Joe couldn't sleep either because this is funny. I didn't mark it, but he was able to just do a walk-in on Sunday to get his flu and COVID shots. And it like hit him that night. He was starting to get sick from them, but he was having nightmares about Trump and he couldn't sleep because he just kept having nightmares about Trump. And even when I woke up on Monday morning, he was still tossing and turning because he couldn't stop thinking about Trump. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, that's everything that happened this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.